This is this is news analysis coming to you live on Politics and Business TV Abuja. Good afternoon and many thanks for joining us on the program for today. I'm Fatima Abubakar Oyibo. The headlines. Tinubu to Amupitam make 2027 polls transparent, violence-free. Reps move to limit president's control over EFCC chair. NBTE warns against illegal award of NDHND certificate. And on the foreign scene, women launch landmark lawsuit over sexual abuse in Australian military. Details of the stories and more to come shortly after the break. Do stay with us. Welcome back. News in details. President Bola Tinubu has charged the newly appointed chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), Professor Joe Ash Omukbita, to ensure that Nigeria's 2027 general elections are free, fair, and devoid of violence. Speaking during Omukbita's swearing-in ceremony at the State House in Abuja, Tinubu emphasized that the integrity of the electoral process must be beyond reproach. He called for sustained reforms to correct past lapses and adapt to emerging challenges, stressing that the sanctity of the ballot is central to the nation's democratic future. Amukutan, who succeeds Mahmoud Yakubu, pledged to uphold the constitution and collaborate with political parties, civil society organizations, and security agencies to deliver credible elections. Civil society groups have urged him to build on the reforms initiated by his predecessor, while political stakeholders are already positioning themselves ahead of the 2027 race. As the electoral season begins to take shape, Tinubu's directive sets a clear tone for transparency, inclusivity, and peace in the months to come. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has passed for second reading a bill aimed at curbing the president's unilateral power over the removal of the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), sponsored by Honorable Yusuf Gagdi of Plateau State. The bill seeks to amend the EFCC Act of 2004 to strengthen the agency's independence and shield it from political interference. Lawmakers argue that aligning the EFCC's operations with global anti-corruption standards is essential to tackling evolving financial crimes such as cybercrime, cryptocurrency manipulation, and terrorism financing. During plenary, Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu presided over the debate, where Gagdi emphasized the need to modernize the EFCC's legal framework to meet the complexities of today's economic crimes. The proposed amendment will require National Assembly involvement before any EFCC chairman can be removed, thereby reducing executive overreach. The bill has sparked discussions on institutional autonomy and the future of Nigeria's anti-corruption efforts. In another development, the National Board for Technical Education (NBTE) has issued a stern warning to professional and examination bodies in Nigeria, urging them to desist from the unauthorized design and issuance of national diploma and higher national diploma certificates. In a statement released in Kaduna, NBT's Executive Secretary Professor Idris Bukaje emphasized that only the board is legally empowered to accredit and regulate programs leading to these qualifications, as stipulated by the Federal Government Decree No. 9 of 1977, amended Act 16 of 1985. Bukaje expressed concern over the growing trend of illegal certification by unaccredited institutions, describing it as a violation of the NBT's mandate and a threat to the integrity of Nigeria's technical education system. He called on stakeholders to report such activities and reaffirmed the board's commitment to maintaining high standards in polytechnic education. The warning comes amid broader efforts to combat academic fraud and protect the credibility of Nigeria's educational qualifications. Let's watch a news analysis right here on Politics and Business Television Abuja. Still to come, medical tourism spending drops by 52% on the Tinubu CBN report. This is of this headline and more news content after a quick break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now on to business matters. Nigeria's expenditure on medical tourism has declined significantly under President Bola Tinubu's administration. According to the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN), a recent report from the CBN's quarterly statistical bulletin reveals that Nigerians spent approximately $4.74 million on foreign healthcare services between May 2023 and March 2025. This marks a 52% drop compared to the $9.83 million spent during the first 22 months of President Muhammadu Buhari's tenure. The decline is attributed to policy reforms aimed at revitalizing the local health sector, including an executive order that removed tariffs, excise duties, and VAT on imported pharmaceutical inputs. Analysts suggest that these measures have encouraged investment in domestic healthcare infrastructure, reducing the need for overseas treatment. The report signals a potential shift towards strengthening Nigeria's medical capabilities and curbing the outflow of foreign exchange for health-related travel. Moving on to the foreign scene, a major legal battle is underway in Australia as hundreds of women have filed a class action lawsuit against federal government alleging decades of sexual abuse, harassment, and discrimination within the Australian Defence Force. The case, lodged in the federal court, spans incidents from November 2003 to May 2025 and includes harrowing accounts of rape, physical threats, and retaliation against whistleblowers. The plaintiffs argue that the greatest threat they faced was not combat, but the persistent danger from within their own ranks. The legal firm JGA Sadler is leading the case and expects thousands more victims to join. The lawsuit follows findings from a 2024 inquiry into defense and veteran suicide, which exposed systemic failures in addressing sexual violence across military institutions. The government says it is working to implement the inquiry's recommendation, but the lawsuit has sparked national outrage and renewed calls for sweeping reforms to protect service members and hold perpetrators accountable. Now for sport news, let's join Abel Sunday.
Good day, it's P&B Sports Update. I'm about Sunday. It's another exciting weekend of Spanish La Liga action and all eyes will be on El Clasico. Real Madrid take on Barcelona at the Bernabeu in what promises to be a blockbuster clash. It's Xavi Alonso's first test of the famous rivalry as Madrid manager, and after 4 defeats to Barca last season, Los Blancos will be desperate for revenge. Barcelona, meanwhile, have looked sharp under Hansi Flick, their attack clicking into gear with Jose Felix and Lewandowski in fine form. Elsewhere, Atletico Madrid faced Real Sociedad in a top 4 battle, while Girona continue their impressive run as they host Valencia. That's your P&B Sports News Update. I'm Abel Sunday.
Welcome back. Now let's move to the focus of the day. In what many officers have described as a long-awaited victory, the National Assembly has approved the removal of the Nigerian police force from the contributory pension scheme under the National Pension Commission (PENCOM). The move follows years of agitation by police officers who complained that the contributory system was unfavorable and unjust, especially when compared with the defined benefits enjoyed by the counterparts in the military and other paramilitary services. With this development, the Nigerian police will now operate their own pension framework separate from PENCOM, a change supporters say will restore morale and fairness. But critics one could create financial and administrative complications down the line. Joining us to discuss the implications of this development is Honorable Ibrahim A. Waziri, a former member of the Adamawa State House of Assembly, former CPC chairman, and former APC state ex-officio Adamawa State. Honorable Ibrahim Waziri joins us via WhatsApp call to break this down. Good morning, Honorable Waziri.
Yeah, good afternoon, Fatima. How are you?
Good afternoon, rather. I beg your pardon. Honorable, many Nigerians, especially police officers, are celebrating this decision. Do you think this removal from PENCOM is truly in the best interest of the police or more of a political gesture?
Well, I don't know. To be honest with you, I am not in support of removing the police from the PENCOM. I think all other agencies that are not part of the PENCOM should be included into the PENCOM. Because one, this will cut spending for the federal government, because you don't have to pay somebody like pension for life. He has to contribute part of his own money. That is what is happening internationally, all over the world. They make contributory pension. Go to US and see what the pension is doing, what the PENCOM is doing. You contribute your pension. From there, you can get whatever they invest your money. You get your investment. You know, this is why you are making extra more money from it. And the government will not spend much money. The government may only contribute 15% while you are working. I think the contribution is 7.5. That is 15%. The owner of the pension will contribute 7.5 of your salary. Then the federal government will contribute 7.5 of your salary. Then you have 15% going into the PENCOM. So that will be kept with PENCOM and will be invested so that the money can multiply and grow. But when you remove them from PENCOM, actually that is more burden to the federal government, because the federal government will pay their salaries, they will still pay the pension, that is when they will continue to have problems. That's why we used to have this, military pension problem before. But when they came with PENCOM, even before the PENCOM, actually, the military pension was reorganized during the late President Sani Abacha reorganized the pension and brought in people with clear mind to clear every burden that was there. So, but unfortunately, the police, I don't know what is happening in the police while they are under PENCOM. There's no any civil servant complaining, nobody. The only complaint I know of PENCOM is delay in payment. They don't pay you when you want, when it is, when you need your money, you may not get it. That is if you're retired, or if somebody died for the, the next of kin, the beneficiaries, they don't get the money on time. Because I'm still expecting my wife died about 2014, that's 11 years ago. Up till now, I'm waiting for PENCOM to pay. They didn't pay. Her children are here, I am here, none of us were paid. We were waiting for PENCOM to pay for 11 years, they didn't pay us. You can imagine this is part of the delay. But if not, I think what PENCOM is doing is good. Because by the time you make your contribution, they will invest your money. They will take you to any pension administrator you want. You go there, talk to them, tell them this is what you want, then they invest in whatever you want, any venture you want, they can put their money, they invest into it. And the money will multiply you. They'll be paying you in piecemeal. They'll pay you on a monthly basis. If you want, they can pay you in 3 or 4 different installments, your gratuity. Then your final pension will be paid on monthly basis, depending on how much you want in a month. They can agree. This is the ceiling, and this is the lowest they can pay. You can agree with them, meet at the top, meet at the center, then you agree on whatever it is they pay you. So, but unfortunately, I don't know what is happening with the police, because I've been seeing a lot of complaints from police officers Then after serving for 20 years, I'm being paid 20,000 naira or 30,000 naira, which is wrong actually. I don't know where their money is going to. But to be honest with you, I'm not in support of removing anybody from the PENCOM because it is bringing more burden to the government. Government is complaining that there's no money, they don't have money to do. The only money they have was to buy yachts for the president, buy tires for the wife of the president, build new house for the vice president, or whatever. But anything that affects commoner in Nigeria, there is no money for that. So it's unfortunate actually. I don't support them removing the police from the PENCOM.
Before I continue to my next question, I would like to say I'm so sorry for the loss of your wife. I know it would have been a very hard time during the time. I know it's been long, but I believe that the heart it's still there. So I'm praying that God gives you the heart to get fortitude.
Thank you very much.
So in your own belief, what are the specific challenges do you think the police face under the contributory pension scheme, and do you think a separate system can guarantee better welfare and transparency? I already know that you disagree with it, but let me just ask this question specifically.
Well, actually, I don't know. To be honest with you, the best bet for Nigeria is this PENCOM issue. Contributory pension is the best, and I think the federal government need to force even the states to go into this contributory pension, because as we speak now, there are people I know in my state particularly that have retired 15-20 years ago. They have not been paid their gratuity. They started paying them pension, and the pension is just nothing to write home about. Maybe they give you 15,000, 20,000 at the end of the month when you retired as an assistant director or a senior officer. So to be honest with you, contributory pension is the only way out. But when you say you as a federal government agreeing or accepting to remove any agency, I think the president should not accept that bill. To be honest with you, you should call the National Assembly so they can sit down, negotiate, and check this PENCOM internally. What is happening to the police pension? Particularly the police, check it. What is the problem? Who is the next officer in charge of police pension? What is the problem? Then they have to go through it and they have to make correction. To be honest with you, I am not in support of anybody going out of PENCOM. They need to bring in more. Even the military should go back into PENCOM. The military itself, including anybody that you can think, anybody should go into PENCOM, because this is your retirement benefit, this is your lifeline. When you leave service, this is where your money will be coming from, and this is the source. The government doesn't need to be paying you. You need to be doing. You need to invest your money so that at least you can rely on your investment. But when you don't invest money, the government cannot be continuously be giving you money every day. No, I don't support that. To be honest with you, I have nothing to say more than I am not in support of removing police or any other organization from the PENCOM. The only thing that the PENCOM need to be amended, the act of the PENCOM should be amended at least so that people can have the knowledge of whatever their money is being used for and how it is being used for and how much am I expecting as a return on investment. That is just it. But when you say you just put your money there, they remove your money, they remove 7.5, you contribute, and the government contributes 7.5. At the end of the day, everyone 15% of your salary is going. Then at the end of it all, when you retire, you don't know how much you have. Go there, you calculate, you see, then you agree with them. Then how much is going into property? How much is going into whatever investment you want? You know, some people don't want their money to be invested in anything maybe haram or non-halal. You know, as a Muslim, you've been guided by Islamic law. So there are some investment that you may not support as a Muslim. So actually, you have to negotiate with them, talk with them. Yes, this is our money. I need my money to go into transportation. I want to go into property. I want it to go into maybe even to this. What do you call it? Whatever it is I want to do, but anything that is halal investment. So that is how it is. But allowing them to just take it like that. To be honest with you, I don't support removing any agency from the PENCOM. That's just my kind of position.
Saying that. The police pension is hard to manage when they are under PENCOM. Well, some experts warn that managing an independent police pension fund could also create new or more accountability issues or financial burdens on the government. How do you think these can be avoided?
Well, actually, avoiding it is just leaving them in PENCOM. When you want to avoid any other additional expenses from the government, is leaving them in PENCOM. But when you remove them in PENCOM, it is that the government has to vote more money. The police that doesn't have enough equipment to secure the country, you still want to bring them about PENCOM. How much do you think they're paying them on pension? How much do you think? Pension, the only thing that is not in pension is your allowances. When you are collecting 50,000 at the end of the month, maybe after retirement, your salary, your pension may be around maybe 40 or 40, so before 40,000 maybe, or 35 at least, because the allowances may go. You don't have a housing allowance, or you have some few allowances that may go, like transport or some risk or whatever. These are the few things that they can remove. But every other thing is there. That's the basic thing. So how long will the government continue to be paying you while you're in service and after retirement till you die? No, somebody may live for the next 100 years in his life. Somebody may live up to, I know in Nigeria that somebody I know is living up to 95 and is a pensioner. So what do you do? How do you manage their resources? To be honest with you, there are issues. For me, I am not in support of them removing anybody. Not only the police, anybody from the PENCOM. Everybody should go back to PENCOM. Because by the time you create a new police pension commission, it's another investment or another money for government to go into. Government should inject into it. And nothing will come out of it. Because there is nothing there. It's a pension, it's people's entitlement after they retire. How do you pay them? Or somebody that died in service, you pay them their gratuity to the family. How do you get any money there? There is no money you can get in the share, except that when the government release money, then you see it. And that's what's happening in the states and local government now. You see them when they say at the end of the month, we're waiting for government to approve pension. The government just says, okay, I approve 2 million naira or 5, 10, 20 million. How many people they pay? It's nothing. So let them have the PENCOM to cover everything. At least it's okay because they invest, they are allowed to invest. When they invest, they see return on investment, and that is what they use in paying gratuity and the pensions, to be honest with you. Actually, my candid opinion is just to go for the PENCOM, nothing less.
Okay, let's move to the implications. Do you see this as setting a precedent for other uniform service, such as customs or civil defense or corrections, to demand the same exemption?
Yes, actually, it is a very bad precedent actually to set up for other agencies. They can say not only the security agencies. There are other agencies that can say no, we don't want. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe people working in other sector. Teachers may decide to say no. We also need a PENCOM. We also need our own pension. What do you call it? Pension administrators.
So pension agencies. Custom pension board, civil defense pension board, and tomorrow you start hearing there's a teachers pension board, there's a journalism pension board, and the rest. Okay. Hello, Honorable. I guess we've lost him. Although I did have one last question. Okay. Honorable, you're back online. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So our last question for you. In the bigger picture, how important is pension security to national morale, discipline, and service delivery in the Nigerian police force?
Well, actually, pension is good. It boosts the people's morale because I know I'll go there, sacrifice everything. I know my back is covered. Because by the time your entitlement as an allowance, risk allowance, it's a problem. But what happens if you die? How will your family survive? Maybe they're living in a rented apartment. How will they go? Maybe they're living in a police barracks. Maybe they're okay, back after 90 days, and their pension, their gratuity may not be ready, regardless of the pension. And the pension is nothing to write home about. So to be honest with you, there are issues. When you boost this, actually people will work with all their heart. They say, okay, yes, my country now is my back. I will do that for my country. That's just it. But I don't know. It's unfortunate actually the way the things have been operated in Nigeria. I don't like it. I don't support anything going out of the PENCOM, to be honest with you. All we need is to reorganize the PENCOM, boost it, give it more, more powers to do more things. That is it. Then anybody that is contributing should negotiate with them. He has the right to negotiate and tell them what he wants. And he can opt out any day, anytime, but not the whole agency to leave. No. An individual can opt out. But saying no, the whole police, no. What is their number in Nigeria? How much is their pension at the end of every month? The federal government will be paying. It's much, actually. It's much. For me, I'm still on the opinion that yes, they should remain with PENCOM, to be honest with you.
I understand your frustration, and I can feel it from the way you speak, but it is what it is, as it is in Nigeria. Sometimes when bills are passed or when informations, or it's like orders are being given and all we are expected to do is to follow. But thank you so much, Honorable Ibrahim A. Waziri, for sharing on your insights on this very important issue. Thank you so much for joining me on the program.
Thank you.
Well, as Nigeria continues to reform its pension and security structures, one thing remains clear. Those who risk their lives to protect others deserve a retirement system that truly protects them. That has been our focus today. Stay tuned for more discussions here on Politics and Business TV. And that wraps up us today's program, but before we go, the headlines again. Tinubu to Amukbita make 2027 polls transparent, violence-free. Reps move to limit president's control over EFCC chair. MBTE once against illegal award of NDHND certificates. And on the foreign scene, you heard women launch landmark lawsuit over sexual abuse in Australian military. For more updates and in-depth analysis, follow Politics and Business TV.English on YouTube and Facebook. Connect with us on Instagram at PMBTV_English and TikTok at PMBTV_ENG. Remember to subscribe and stay informed. From me, Fatima Abubakar Oibo, it's bye for now.